It was a sunny morning when I received the letter from the Homeowners Association, HOA, a legal notice demanding that I tear down my cabin. It was a stunningly aggressive move. The HOA had been trying to make life miserable for me ever since. I bought the land a few years ago. They weren't fans of my humble cabin, and they had done everything in their power to get me to comply with their incessant demands. The letter threatened legal action if I didn't comply with their community guidelines and said that they had already scheduled a bulldozer to come and tear down my cabin within a week. At first, I was stunned. How could they do this? But then, a slow realization dawned on me. I owned the deed to something much more valuable than they could ever imagine. I had purchased the deed to their $7 million clubhouse, the very building where they held all their meetings and exerted their control over the community. The clubhouse was the backbone of the HOA's power, and without it, they would lose their grip on the entire neighborhood. It wasn't something I had planned to use against them, but now, with my cabin on the line, I realized I had the leverage to turn the tables. I had never told anyone about the deed, keeping it under wraps as a personal victory, a silent symbol of my autonomy. But now it was my secret weapon. Armed with the knowledge that I held control over the HOA's most valuable asset, I decided to take action. I reached out to my lawyer, and together we began crafting a counterclaim. Instead of reacting defensively, I planned to strike back, using their own clubhouse as leverage. If they wanted to bulldoze my cabin, I would shut down their precious clubhouse and expose their illegal dealings with the property. The day the bulldozer was scheduled to arrive, I stood my ground, not in fear but with confidence. As the heavy machinery rolled toward my cabin, I sent the HOA a final, firm letter, threatening to revoke access to the clubhouse unless they halted their plans. The fear in their voices when they called me was priceless. They quickly realized that their authority over the neighborhood could crumble in an instant. They had no choice but to back down. In the end, the HOA backed off, and I kept my cabin intact. But I also gained a reputation for being the one who stood up to the HOA and showed them who truly had the power in the neighborhood. I didn't just save my cabin. I redefined the balance of power in the community, and all it took was one simple deed to their clubhouse.